there will be an exit conference. But in other, for example, in the case of fraud audit, it is not mandatory to have an exit conference. They could only, if the agency or the auditee wishes to have an exit conference, then the team could grant an exit conference, but it's not automatic. But for regular audit, those under residency audit, they conduct exit conference.
In the case of the Office of the Vice President, in 2022, did you conduct an exit conference with the Office of the Vice President?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor, because I'm not the one who supervises the national government agencies.
May I ask the Vice President if they had this exit conference after the audit that was completed? Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and we leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Well, I assume that if there was an exit conference conducted by the Commission Audit with the Office of the Vice President, what were the initial findings of the audit conference or the audit as explained probably in the audit conference?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I think that question is best asked of the Commission on Audit, not the Office of the Vice President. What were the contents of the audit?
Volgo, what do you wish?
Yeah, I would assume then that there was an exit conference, and the exit conference was not satisfactory to the auditing department. That's why the the confidential fund, as indicated in the audit observation, we can see the findings because the audit or the exit conference was not successful in terms of resolving some of these audit findings of the Commission on Audit, Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have received many audit actions from the Commission on Audit, and we have submitted our responses to them and assured the public of our full cooperation with the Commission on Audit.
Madam Chair, we have received a copy of the audit findings on dated August 8, 2024, issued by the Commission Audit. And have you submitted already your response to these findings, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
I'm sorry, could you write the last line?
Yes, could you kindly repeat your question, not to be included in your time?
May we ask if they've already answered, and if they can tell us the answer that they submitted to the Commission Audit on the findings of the Commission Audit as reported earlier? Madam
Madam Vice
Chair.
President.
Madam Chair, I would not like to assume, but is this about the audit of the confidential funds or the audit of the entire Office of the Vice President?
Both, Madam Chair.
All right. On the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses, and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit. With regard to other audit actions, we assure the public that we have submitted our responses, and we are in full cooperation with the Commission on Audit.
Madam Chair, I have another question. You have experience using confidential fund, especially in 2022 and 2023. And in 2024, you don't have any confidential fund, as well as probably in this proposal that you submitted in 2025. If you will make a comparison between having a confidential fund and not having, which of these you will choose if be given the opportunity, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President?
Yes, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses, and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Can you not share with us your experience on this, Madam Chair? On not having a confidential fund and having a confidential fund, considering the fact that you have both experience having one and not having one.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Okay, I think I will have the same answer with my other questions, so I will now end my interpellation at this point in time. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Madam Vice President. Thank you.
Salamat. Next to interpolate is the Honorable Francisco Paulo Ortega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Few short questions lang po. Nakakapanghinayang po na ang dami pong prepared na questions ng mga kasama natin. Ngunit marami pong hindi nabibigyan ng sagot. Una, siguro idedirekta ko po to sa COA na siguro kailangan yung responsiveness ng COA makikita at saka mararamdaman sa mga napaka-importante na issues na ganito. Kasi karamihan po sa atin nanggagaling sa local government. Nanggaling po sa local government. Alam po natin na minsan yung mga ganyang issues sa AOM, sa mga issues ng paglabag, saka hindi po tamang paggamit, nagiging problema po for local officials, even national officials. Parang po, minsan kahit na 5 milyon, may nasususpending mayor, may perpetual disqualification, may mga ganun po na issues na I think this house, the members of this house, were really focusing on those questions kasi nga po, nakikita po nila yung importansya ng questions na mga yon, Madam Chair. And makikita naman po natin, sabi nga po ni Kong Mark, my neighbor, na paulit-ulit na rin po yung mga sagot. Sana po baka may mga ibang membro ng opisina ng Office of the Vice President na nakatulong po or nakapagbigay po ng supplemental na sagot or dagdag man lang sana na sagot. Kasi ang dami po nung mga katanungan na parang wala lang, parang hindi na po nasama. Nandiyan naman po siguro yung support staff or may mga kasama po dyan. Sana po na mas nabigyan po ng kabuluhan yung hearing, Madam Chair. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Okay, do you care to comment, Madam Vice?
Yes, Madam Chair, the reason why wala dito yung ibang officials ng Office of the Vice President because, and I will say, I will not betray the confidence of some members of the House of Representatives. Meron isa sa mga nagtanong kanina ang nagsabi sa akin na merong script sa pagtatanong about sa confidential funds. That is why I decided na hindi pa atinin yung mga ibang officials ng Office of the Vice President because nakalagay naman doon sa inyong invitation and I quote, nasa yung copy. In this regard, may we respectfully invite the Vice President or her duly authorized representative. So it was in the alternative. So I decided I'll come alone, answer all of it alone. So that kung i-contempt man ninyo ako lang yung papasok doon sa detention at hindi na masali yung ibang tao dito at yung pamilya nila na nag-aantay sa kanila sa mga bahay nila.
Honorable Ortega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Parang, I mean, naiintindihan ko kung saan po nanggagaling yung sagot na yun. Pero, resource persons naman po yung kailangan natin eh. More on budget hearing issues. Kung ibang issues yan, I doubt if it will come from this budget hearing. At sabi nga po ng mga kasama natin, Madam Chair, tungkol po talaga sa budget naman. Saka yung mga nakaraang nga pong budget ang pinag-uusapan. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, again, the invitation said or in the alternative, Vice President or. So, I am within my right of attending alone.
Yun lang po siguro, Madam Chair. Sayang lang din po yung pagkakataon. This is the perfect time na marinig din tayo ng not only our fellow representatives, pero syempre ng taong bayan din po kung paano po nangyayari yung mga ganitong bagay, paano po napapatakbo, paano po nagagamit. Siguro I'll stick to that as my final few questions, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, ma'am.
Salamat. Next to interpolate is the Honorable Benny Abante.
Salamat po, Madam Chair. Sana po ay matapos na po ito para masimulan na po natin yung budget ng Ombudsman. Po. But anyway, palagay ko po ay alam na po ng taong bayan ang mga nangyayari sapagkat karamihan po ng ating mga colleagues ay nagtanong na tungkol sa confidential fund. Pero gusto ko lang pong tanungin si Madam Vice President, if the representatives of the people, like this House, has all the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency. Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, is it a question? I think it's directed to the House.
No, I'm asking you the question, Madam Chair. I'm asking the question to the resource speaker if she believes that this House, being the representative of the people, has the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency.
Right, precisely. That's why I say I will leave it to the
Only
House of
yes or no, Madam
Representatives to
Yes,
decide
Madam
on
Chair.
the proposal
Madam Chair,
as
excuse
presented.
me, Madam Chair, that can only be answerable by yes or no.
We, again, Chair would like to remind our guests to please be responsive to the queries of the members in the most direct manner. So please proceed, Madam Vice President.
I already answered.
Answer po by yes or no?
Chair, perhaps my ears are not very clear, so I would like to find out if she answered yes, Madam Chair.
And I will leave it to the House of Representatives
I
to
do not
decide on
want
the
her to explain, Madam
proposal
Chair.
as
Madam
presented.
Chair, she has been answering the same answers since we started this query and this hearing. What I just want to ask, Madam Chair, is very simple. A simple answer of yes or no. Does the Vice President believes that this House has all the right to scrutinize the budget of any agency? I'm not just referring to the agency of the Vice President. I am referring to every agency of government, Madam Chair. That can only be simply answered by yes or no. I do not need to hear the paulit-ulit na kasagutan niya. Kanina pa, gusto ko lang po marinig. Hindi po ako nagagalit. Oo, hindi po katulad niya, parang inis na siya. O gusto ko lang po malaman. Oo. Humbly speaking, naniniwala ba siya, Madam Chair, na itong House na ito na binoto ng tao ay merong karapatan ayon sa konstitusyon na scrutinize natin ang budget ng any ahensya ng gobyerno, including Congress, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, may I request the Secretariat to put on record cut and paste. I will forgo and I will leave my answer, my previous answer.
Madam Chair, I would just like to ask, why is it very hard for her to answer yes? I'd like to ask, why is it, Madam Vice President, why is it so hard for you to answer yes when you know that the answer should be yes? Why do you have to explain? Why do you have to explain? We're simple people here. I'm not even a lawyer. You are a lawyer, Madam Chair. So, this is a simple question of a simple Filipino. Meron po bang karapatan ang House na ito na scrutinize ang budget ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno? Yun lang po ang tanong ko. Pwede pong sagutin ito ng yes or no. Kung yes, salamat. Kung no, edi salamat din. At least nalaman ng taong bayan.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025
Madam Chair, I do not
by
need
question
an
and answer.
explanation
I
of
will
the
leave it
answer,
to the
Madam
House
Chair.
of Representatives
Madam Chair,
to decide.
Madam Chair,
Order, please. Order, please.
Evidence.
Point of order, Madam
Honorable
Chair.
Abante, you may proceed.
I do not need her to explain, please. You have been giving the same answer for hours. The same answer for hours. Alam ko naman po ang pagnanais nyo. Why you answer the same for hours? Ngayon po, iba naman ang tanong ko. Ang tanong ko ito, tatanungin ko uli, Madam Chair, meron po bang karapatan bilang mga representante ng taong bayan sa bawat distrito at party list na mag-scrutinize ng budget ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno? Hindi po natin pinag-uusapan dito ang confidential fund. Ang pinag-uusapan po natin budget.
Madam Chair, before you answer, the gentleman wishes to have a direct answer, either yes or no. Are you going to provide a direct answer? Honorable Abante?
So, what is the answer?
I asked whether our Madam Vice President will provide a direct answer to your query, and the answer is no.
May I know why?
Madam Vice President? And her answer is no as well.
I don't think that would be the right answer, Ms. The question is, may I know why? And her answer is no. Would that be the right answer to the question why?
Madam Vice
Madam Chair.
President, do you wish to comment?
Madam Chair, hindi dahil hindi nyo gusto yung mga sagot ko, hindi nyo gusto yung manner ng pagsagot ko, at hindi nyo gusto ang mga sinasabi ko, hindi ibig sabihin na
Madam Chair.
hindi ka sinasagot
Madam Chair,
ang mga
point of
tanong.
order.
Yes, Honorable
Mali po
Abante.
yata ang sinasabi niya, hindi nyo gusto. Hindi yung nyo. Madam Chair, wag niyong isali dito ang aking mga kasamahan dito. Ako ang nagtatanong. Sabihin mo sa akin, hindi ko gusto ang tanong mo. Yun lamang ang dapat niyang sabihin sa akin. Sapagkat hindi ko rin gusto ang sagot niya. Madam Chair, ganun lang. Oo. Ano po ang sagot niya?
Madam Vice President, do you wish to?
Madam Chair,
Answer.
there's no question.
The Honorable Abante is asking for a question, for a response. Ano po ang sagot niya? Yan ang huli po niyang sinabi.
I request that the question be repeated.
Honorable Abante, kindly
The
repeat
answer-
your question, not
the-
to be
The answer is what?
included in your time. To please repeat your last question.
Ito po, ang tanong ko kanina, meron po bang naniniwala po ba ang ating Vice President na meron pong karapatan ang mga representante ng taong bayan ng mga distrito at mga party list na scrutinize po namin ang budget ng bawat ahensya. Hindi po lang ahensya niya, ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno. Yes o no lang po ang sagot yan. Ang tanong ko po, Madam Chair, kanina ayaw niya sumagot. Ang sagot niya, ayaw niya sagutin. So ang tanong ko ito, may I know why? Ang sagot niya, no. Aba, Madam Chair, hindi po ako masyadong expert mag-English, pero palagay ko po naman, yung pong tanong na may I know why, palagay ko hindi po tama yung sagot na no.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, palagay ko. So that explains it. It is his opinion.
Madam Chair,
It's up to you. You are the
Chair.
presiding officer.
Madam Chair, hindi ko po opinion yun. Nakalagay po sa Constitution yun tulad po ng Vice President natin. Naniniwala po siya sa mandato niya bilang Vice President. Naaayon sa Konstitusyon. Gayon din po ang mandato natin dito na meron tayong karapatan mag-scrutinize ng budget ng anumang ahensya ng gobyerno ayon sa Konstitusyon. Ang tanong ko sa kanya, naniniwala ka ba doon?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, umikot na po tayo. Bumalik na tayo sa simula. Natapos na yon, nasagot na. Ang sinabi, palagay ko, hindi iyan ang tamang sagot. Kung hindi niya gusto yung sagot ko, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ako sumagot.
Madam Chair, palagay ko, hindi po siya sumagot sapagkat inuulit lamang niya ang sinabi niya. O ito po ang gusto kong tanungin sa kanya. Pag pwede ba, Madam Chair, pakiulit mo yung sagot mo na isinasagot mo ng paulit-ulit kanina pa, Madam Chair. Gusto ko lang ulit marinig. Gusto ko lang ulit ma-record. Pakiulit mo lang ang sagot mo sa lahat ng mga tanong na tinatanong dito mula pa kanina.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I do not want to assume, so I would like to be clarified. Is this the OVP 2025 budget proposal or the confidential funds?
Madam Chair, sinabi ko budget eh. Hindi ko sinabing confidential fund. Sinabi ko budget. Medyo mahina yata ang tenga ni Vice President eh. Sinabi ko budget eh. Hindi confidential fund. Sinabi ko na wala akong pakialam sa confidential fund. Ang pakialam ko ganito. Meron pang karapatan. Naniniwala ba siya na ang Kongreso ay merong karapatan mag-scrutinize ng budget ng anumang ehensya? Yun po ang tanong ko. Sagutin po niya yes or no. Ngayon, ayaw niya sagutin ng yes or no, sabihin niya sa akin ang sagot niya kanina ng paulit-ulit sa lahat ng mga tanong ng ating mga colleagues.
I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, maraming salamat po. Ibig sabihin po, yung kasagutan niya na paulit-ulit, naniniwala siya na merong karapatan ang Kongresong ito na i-scrutinize ang budget. Kahit ang budget na yan nagsimula ng 2023, meron pa rin karapatan ang Kongresong ito na i-scrutinize ang budget. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po, Vice President.
Salamat. Next to interpolate is Honorable Richard Gomez, who is not around. So we move to the Honorable Trixie Cardama.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening po, VP Sara. Although kami po ay mga kinatawan ng taong bayan na nakakakuha ng libo-libong boto ng Pilipino, kayo po ang most voted national official sa kasaysayan ng bansang ito. Kinakakatawan po ninyo ang kagustuhan ng pinakamaraming milyon-milyong Pilipino. At bilang isang mataas na opisyal ng Armed Forces of the Philippines Reserve Force, ano pong masasabi nyo sa mga kaalyado ng NPA na nakapasok sa gobyerno at ginagamit ng pondo ng gobyerno para tumulong sa pagpatay sa ating mga pulis at sundalo at i-recruit ang mga kabataang Pilipino.
Madam Vice President.
Representative Gardema, I thank you for your question. But I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Maraming salamat po, Vice President, sa inyong paglaban sa leftist groups at sa NPA na pumapatay sa ating mga pulis at sundalo na nambibiktima sa sambayang Pilipino. Yun na po. Maraming salamat po, ma'am.
Next to interpolate is the Honorable Mitch Kayanui.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and good evening to our Vice President. Actually, this representation will not interpolate since the responses of the Vice President has been the same. However, I just want to make a manifestation that if possible, if we may request that all the responses and yung mga ano po will not parang out of emotions. Yun lang po kasi when I cut here, medyo may mga ano na po may mga nag-iinit na yung mga discussions and everything. So, ang hinihiling ko lamang po sana talaga is kasi may ahensya pa na nag-aantay na alam nating importante rin ang Office of the Ombudsman. Kaya po sana, yung kanina, kaya po ako ay nagpa-register dahil gusto ko lamang po sana na magbase tayo doon sa talagang mandato para sa atin. Ako po, nung nasa isang ahensya, tinitingnan ko po na ang pagtawag ng Kongreso para po umattend ng isang budget hearing, ito po ay ang pinakamataas na form at ito na rin po ang pinakamataas na call ng Kongreso para po sa sabi nga po pag-scrutinize. Siguro po alam nating lahat na ito na po yung pinaka-importante at role ng bawat inelect para dito po. Kaya nga po ang Kongreso ay ang may power of the purse dahil nga po ito po yung mandato na binigay po sa atin. However, kung tayo po ay exchange ng ating mga emotions, these are all simply allegations or ito po yung opinion lamang. Pero kung pwede po sana ay sumagot po tayo ng naaayon since ito naman po ay talagang duty natin at ito po ang ibinabalik sa atin ng ating mga bumoto rin po sa atin. So ang pakiusap ko po sana ay wag tingnan na kumbaga parang you're the other side of the fence. Hindi po tayo rito nagkakaroon ng yung batuhan ng kung ano man. Ang inihingi po natin dito ay konkretong response ayon po sa ating responsibilidad natin ibigay sa taong bayan kung paano po natin matalinong ginasta ang buwis ng taong bayan. Salamat po.
Salamat. Next is the Honorable Romeo Acop. Is not here, so we move to our Deputy Majority Leader, the Honorable Janet Garin.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and a pleasant good evening to our Honorable Vice President. Yeah. Ma'am, you have actually commendable programs, the Medical Assistance Program, Educational Assistance, Burial Assistance, Magnegosyo Taday, but I believe it's a nationwide coverage. So, may we know how our constituents can apply for this program?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, if the Honorable Vice President will agree, meron po ba tayong mga areas kung saan pwedeng mag-apply. Let's say, if we are from the Visayas, where can our constituents apply for this kind of program, and the possibility of having the requirements to apply for such assistance?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Yeah. Madam Chair, for the information of our good Vice President, I'm not objecting to the program. I'm merely asking for the requirements so that if people would like to avail, they would know where to go and how to go about it. So, Madam Chair, my next question is on the educational assistance. Let's say if we have deserving and poor students and they have existing CHED scholarship, can they apply for additional educational assistance in such program?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, on the Kalusugan Food Truck Pansarap, does this also cover parts of the Visayas, or is it only limited to NCR?
President.
Yes, ma'am. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, my next question is on the Magnegosyo Taday, which is livelihood is actually part of economic upliftment. Are there parameters by where MSMEs can apply for this?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, in the government website, it says, as the second highest public office in the land, the Office of the Vice President shall work for the welfare of the Filipino people and contribute to nation building, economic development, and political stability by fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest office, and that is the office of the President. May we hear the wisdom of the Vice President on this matter.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the rice food bags, considering that Iloilo and Western Visayas is a rice-producing province, can our farmers contribute to this rice program so that they will have an adequate market with the adequate price?
Madam Vice President.
Yes. Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Madam Chair, the DPM in its proposed budget mentions that the mission of the Office of the Vice President is to promote economic development, political stability, and fostering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and upholding the highest standard of professionalism in the civil service. It further says that in the sector outcome, promote political and socioeconomic development consistent with state policies and government priorities and thrust. My question, Madam Chair, is the Honorable Vice President amenable to this, or do we need to amend portions of this?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
So, Madam Chair, I do respect the contention of the Vice President. My last question is to the Honorable Chair. Yeah, as it was mentioned earlier, Madam Chair, I am not sure, but can you appraise us in the history of the Congress of the Philippines during budget briefings and deliberations? Has the Committee on Appropriations ever detained any resource person?
Never.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po, Madam Vice President. Thank you very much.
Salamat. Next to interpolate is the Honorable Vice Chair Claudia Bautista. Finish first round first. Okay, so next is the Honorable Geraldine Roman.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Magandang gabi po sa ating Vice President. I just want to express a little bit of my disappointment and frustration kasi I really wanted to be enlightened regarding specific programs, in particular, those very, very creative programs, which is actually my favorite, yung Magnegosyo Taday, no? Which will benefit a lot of women, which is part of my advocacies, as well as the LGBT community. But I guess our Honorable Vice President will just give me the same answer. So let me just manifest my disappointment. Parang pumasok po ako sa meeting na to na may katanungan pero lalabas po ako ng kasagutan and even more questions. I feel compelled to express my deep sense of regret over the way our discussions have unfolded today. Sayang ang pagkakataon. This hearing was supposed to be a crucial forum for us to ensure that the public funds are allocated wisely and effectively, no? However, instead of gaining clarity and insights needed to make informed decisions, we find ourselves caught in a cycle of verbal disputes and personal attacks. And I'm just pointing at one side only, it may be both sides, possibly, and also formula answers, scripted answers, and even insinuations that we are following a script. Napakadali lang naman pong sumagot. Bakit kinakailangan pa nating hold us in doubt and keep us in the dark? So, given the lack of substantive answers provided us, I am left with concerns on how we, as members of the Congress, can make an informed decision regarding the budget of the Office of the Vice President and how we can follow our mandate if there is an apparent lack of cooperation. Because to say that there is an answer, which is not really an answer because it does not shed light, it does not give clarity, it does not address the specific concerns. We may question, in fact, certain issues of whether it is valid to discuss the confidential funds or not. But how about our questions? Katulad ng questions ni Representative Garin. Those are valid questions. I think dapat they merit also an answer. So hindi ko na po pagpapatuloy ang aking pagtatanong eh. Ano naman po ang magiging sagot? Sana po nagkaroon tayo ng clarity. That is my sincere wish talaga. Just clarity. Especially dun sa mga budget items ng 2025 na sa una ay willing naman ng Office of Vice President to answer and so graciously, no? Pilit kong inuunawa, baka naman physically exhausted ng ating resource person. I could hear that her voice is already namamaos, ano? But alam ko malakas naman siyang tao, malakas siyang babae with great resistance. So, nanghinayang po ako sa pagkakataon na ito. With that, Madam Chair, I leave it also to this committee. How to figure out, how can we come up with an informed decision with this kind of formula answer? Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Salamat. Next is the Honorable Jude Asidre.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, good evening, Madam Vice President. I will be asking questions about the 2025 budget. Given the esteemed position of the Office of the Vice President, could the Honorable Vice President kindly enlighten this committee on how the proposed budget reflects the core mandate of the Office of the Vice President? We are sincerely eager to understand how these resources will be used to fulfill the critical responsibilities, particularly the constitutional mandate of the Vice President. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented. You can find all the answers in the audiovisual presentation, in our submission of documents to the Secretariat, in the PowerPoint presentation, and in the opening statement. I will leave it to the House to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, with the significant budget being requested by the Office of the Vice President, this committee is, I believe, keen to hear about the tangible successes by the OVP's programs thus far. Will this budget ensure that such commendable progress continues? I'm referring to the budget requested for 2025.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, I believe we are all familiar with the constitutional mandate of the Vice President, and that's why we'd want to know if the Honorable Vice President could clarify how the proposed budget allocation and the programs that it supports are aligned with this constitutional mandate of the Vice President. Because we're confident that the budget is a perfect reflection of the Vice President's priorities and the office's essential duties.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, the answers are in the AVP presentation, the opening statement, the documents that we submitted to the Secretariat, and the PowerPoint presentation. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in the spirit of collaboration, could the Vice President also share how the OVP works with other agencies to avoid duplication and ensure the efficient use of public funds? We trust that the budget is also a reflection of such strategic coordination.
Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, considering the careful thought that must have gone into crafting the budget of the OVP, would the Vice President explain the rationale behind specific allocations? We are particularly interested in how these figures, especially the amounts, were arrived at, considering that the Vice President has a national mandate, and how it was computed so as to translate into meaningful outcomes for the public. Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Madam Chair, the Honorable Vice President has repeatedly mentioned that she will forgo the right to personally defend the budget through a question and answer format. How should this committee interpret such a decision? Would it be fair to conclude, Madam Chair, that the programs under the OVP may not be as high a priority or as important as we had hoped for? Or should we interpret the response and the demeanor of the Vice President indicates that we, the elected representatives of the people, and the people that we represent do not deserve an explanation on how public funds would be spent by their office, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, all the answers are in the audiovisual presentation, the documents that we submitted to the committee secretariat, the opening statement in the PowerPoint presentation. I did not say forgo the right. I said forgo the opportunity to defend.
Thank you, Madam Vice President, because I think it's not our right to explain our budget. It's our duty to explain our budget. That's all, Madam Chair, and I would have to say, I leave it to the committee to consider the responses of our Honorable Vice President in the approval of the budget of the OB.
Salamat. Before we move to round 2, just a short manifestation on my part with a kind indulgence of my colleagues. Kanina po nabanggit ang pangalan ko kasama ni Kong Franz nung meron pong nagtanong kung bakit may 125 million para sa fourth quarter taong 2023 na hindi po ginamit ng ating pangalawang Pangulo. Nabanggit ang pangalan ko. I believe ang sinabi po ni Madam Vice President is that tila may lumalabas na po na pattern simula nung araw na nagsagutan po kami sa plenaryo na lumabas po na 11 days lamang ang period na kung saan ginamit po ang pondo amounting to 125 million. I just want to state for the record that that was in no way planned action on my part. That was the most difficult moment in my 5 years in Congress. Tinanong ako ng isang tanong, I just had to say the truth. Nakabase sa liquidation report at kitang-kita nyo naman doon po sa nakakita na po ng notice of disallowance na ginamit po siya from December 21 to 31 at pagbilangin po natin ang mga araw na yan mula 21 hanggang 31 ay indeed 11 days. So yun lang po. I just want to state that on record that on my part, simula nung moment na yon ay naging napakahirap ng buhay ko. No rational human being would ever want to plan her life that way. So there's absolutely no way that can be planned on my part, just for the record. And so with that, I move on to the second round. The Honorable Raul Manuel is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, kasi I started with questions on the DepEd confidential funds for 2023. Tingin ko, Madam Chair, if the resource person is proud of her accomplishments sa counterinsurgency tsaka anti-terror efforts, she should avail of this opportunity to explain na sana. Kasi di naman na siya kasama sa upcoming DepEd budget briefing. This will also set a bad precedent na kung nag-resign ka sa isang posisyon ay hindi ka na pwedeng matanong sa kung paano ka gumamit ng pondo na ikaw din naman yung nag-propose. Also, Madam Chair, yung DepEd confidential funds, that's in line with her role as NTFL co-vice chair kahit nga wala naman yung posisyon na yun sa EO70 of 2018, pero given na ganun ka aktibo ang vice-presidente sa ganung usapin. So Madam Chair, again gusto lang nating i-present na yung table natin kanina kasi doon natin mapapakita na meron ding lumilitaw na pattern gaya ng na-raise ni Congresswoman Sonsing dito naman sa DepEd confidential funds, may pattern din. So ma-present po sana natin ang table. Ayan. Balik po. Ayan, oo. 37.5 million no, sa bawat quarter. Ganun po ka-exact, Madam Chair. Pero similarly, sa nabanggit din kanina ni Kong Rog, kahit sa DepEd, Madam Chair, for 2023, fourth quarter, hindi na rin ginamit yung confidential funds for DepEd. Kaya, Madam Chair, can we confirm sa part po ng COA, I'll address this question to COA, na nag-issue po kayo ng audit observation memo for DepEd confidential funds for third quarter of 2023.
Madam Vice President.
It's
Sorry,
to COA.
Ascom Juliano.
Madam Chair, I have no personal knowledge about the audit of Intel and confidential fund, but maybe it's in the compliance report submitted by COA to subpoena issued by the House of Representatives.
So hindi po wala pong knowledge ang ating rep ngayon from COA na nabanggit po doon, and I quote, "The propriety of the transactions could not be ascertained as the submitted liquidation reports were not fully supported with complete and proper documentations as required under Joint Circular number 2015-01." Hindi po ninyo yun mako-confirm?
ASCOM.
Hindi po ako nag-audit. Selected lang po yung...
But you
unit lang.
represent the agency in this budget briefing. So supposedly you can confirm or ascertain yung ilan sa mga nasa site na galing din naman sa COA.
I have the records, Your Honor, about of the transactions and the details of the audit.
Madam Chair, I think the answer will not suffice. Can we request or even give a brief amount of time from our representative from COA tungkol po sa matter na ito para po ma-confirm nila?
Madam Chair, as already explained earlier, the purpose of my presence here is to give the rationale about the compliance of COA to the subpoena duces tecum. I'm not the official who supervises the Intelligence and Confidential Audit Unit because it is a dedicated unit solely for confidential funds. It could not be seen by other officials except the staff of the Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Unit.
Okay, so ganito na lang Madam Chair, since ang basis po natin ay galing din naman sa documents na pinovide ng COA dahil dun sa ating subpoena do Tecum, then I move Madam Chair na kung meron ng updates from COA regarding the deficiencies of the Office of the Vice President sa DepEd confidential funds for third quarter of 2023, ay formally ma-inform po ang Committee on Appropriations. I so move Madam Chair. I reiterate my motion
It's an action for
for
DepEd.
COA, Madam
For-
Chair. Yes, to provide us with updates given na meron siyang audit observation memo on that confidential fund. Ibig sabihin ongoing pa yung evaluation process. Then kapag may mga updates ay formally i-provide yon sa committee, Madam Chair.
Before we rule on the motion, ASCOM, is this something that can be done?
If it's a pending audit, it is within the exception of the COA circular on the release of documents.
I said, Madam Chair, after, ibig sabihin pag may mga concrete updates na, saka mag-provide ng update sa committee na ito. So we will allow COA to proceed with due course sa dapat pa niyang gawin after that audit observation memo. Tas kung may concrete updates, Madam Chair, yun yung i-provide dito sa komite.
Okay, so ASCOM, could you submit as required by the Honorable Manuel?
Madam Chair, we will wait for the official document from the from the Committee on Appropriations, and then we will study it and comply if there's no legal impediment or violation of our own rules.
Is that a sufficient response?
Yeah, I think that would suffice, Madam Chair. Thank you. Next topic, Madam Chair, since ang gusto ng OVP ay 2025 budget, mapag-usapan din natin siya maliban dun sa past budgets. Madam Chair, I'd like to discuss yung 10 million peso project na children's book. Madam Chair, dahil ayaw din po ng resource person ng question and answer, then ang paraan ko na lang po ay hindi pa tanong. Tell the committee sino po ang editor ng children's book na ito.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, all the answers are, wala yan doon sa opening statement. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. And I will
Madam
leave
Chair, I
it to
did
the
not
House
ask
of
a question. I
Representatives
told the
to
resource
decide the
person to
proposal
tell this
as
committee
presented.
the name of the auditor of the children's book.
Yan ang nangyayari kapag
Honorable
hindi
Manuel.
na
Let me ask a question. I asked the resource person to tell the name, pero baka hindi pa nadidistinguish ano yung tanong, ano yung hindi. Pero since ayaw pong ibigay yung name ng editor ng children's book, ito kasi yung point natin, Madam Chair. The book contains many errors. Sige po, pakita po natin. Kasama po dyan dahon ng banahaw. Wala naman pong dahon ng banahaw. Baka anahaw po yung tinutukoy. Yung word na sila, dapat po sina. Tapos yung walang awa, dapat nga may hyphen po yan. Tapos, Madam Chair, nakalagay din yung pugad daw ng kwago ay nakapatong sa sanga. Madam Chair, sabi ng mga eksperto, ang owl's nest, hindi po ay nakapatong sa sanga. Nasa either butas po yan ng mga puno or nasa ilalim ng lupa. Next, Madam Chair, this book is not child-friendly as per writers kasi pag children's book, Madam Chair, hindi lang yung text yung mahalaga, pati yung visuals, Madam Chair. So, yung illustrations are not cohesive, para yung elements pinatong lang sa background, tapos low value ito for illustrations kasi, Madam Chair, kahit nga yung pangalan ng illustrators ay maliit compared dun sa pangalan ng author. When in fact, for a children's book, magkasing-bigat po ang papel ng illustrator tsaka ng author. Also, Madam Chair, sa content, nag-i-impose po siya na kung paano dapat umasta ang isang kaibigan. But, Madam Chair, for children's books, dapat hindi siya nag-impose ng anumang bagay sa bata. It should be fun. Masaya lang dapat yung bata na binabasa yung libro. So, Madam Chair, this book na pinopropose na pondohan, and actually, ang topic na nga natin, 2025 budget, gusto ng resource person, we limit to the 2025 budget, pero hindi pa rin sinasagot. But this book, Madam Chair, will just contribute to the worsening of the learning crisis. Hindi po siya actually ay makabata. Kaya, Madam Chair, before I end sa second round, kasi kanina meron din pong ad hominem sa atin, meron pang disinformation about this representation. Madam Chair, kung okay lang naman yung mga libro at kung totoo pa kayong sinasabi about me, I would even suggest sa OVP, dagdagan yung budget, baka makalimang libro pa ang Vice Presidente. Pwede pa nga may special edition tungkol sa kwento ng buhay ko. Pero given, Madam Chair, na hindi din talaga pumapasa sa standards ng pagsusulat ng libro. And I also think, Madam Chair, na throughout this hearing, hindi successfully na-defend yung budget ng Office of the Vice President. So ako, personally, I'm inclined na hindi natin i-terminate yung budget briefing for the Office of the Vice President. So yun na lang muna, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Yes. The name of the editor of the book is Raul Manuel. It's a joke, ma'am. You strike it out of the record if you want.
Next to interpolate is the Honorable Jefferson Konghon.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Good evening, VP. I take a strong exception do sa sinabi ni VP kanina na nagkakabuhol-buhol na yung script. Kasi sa totoo lang, wala naman tayong script dito. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng ating VP, no? Is she accusing Congress? Ang sa akin lang is dapat ready i-prove ang ating Vice President. Otherwise, we should strike it off the record. So may I move right now to strike it off the record, Madam Chair? Yung salitang nagkakabuhol-buhol na yung script.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the same is approved.
Second, Vice Chair, nakakalungkot kasi nandito tayo lahat para tayo malinawan kung ano talaga yung nangyari, lalong-lalo na sa budget ng Vice President pagdating sa confidential fund and yung budget niya ngayong 2025. Kaya lang, hindi na rin ako magtatanong kasi alam ko, paulit-ulit din yung kanyang isasagot. So nakaka-frustrate lang dahil ito ay pera ng taong bayan. I would like to thank the Vice President for showing her true colors to the House and her lack of respect for check and balances and the separation of powers and accountability. We are a republic. We don't have a king or a queen. Now, Madam Chair, dahil hindi naman masagot ni VP Sara yung mga katanungan ng miyembro, may I move now to defer the hearing of the budget of the Office of the Vice President. I so move, Ms.
Is
Madam
there
Chair.
any objection? Hearing none, same is approved. So the hearing or the briefing, the budget briefing, shall be rescheduled or shall continue on September 10 at 9 a.m. So with that, the budget briefing is suspended.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. Madam Chair. I still have the time. Can I express my time?
Well, there was a motion
Yeah,
to
but I have
defer.
still a time. Just for 1 minute. I just want to ask the Vice President. I just want to ask the Vice President about something.
Madam Chair, let's give him the chance. I think we should first withdraw the motion to defer. Then give him a chance to ask question, Madam Chair.
Suspended na po tayo. But then, we're,
Just
second
be-
part is on September 10 at 9
No,
a.m.
just for 1 minute. For 1 minute. Just for 1 minute. Just for 1 minute, because I just want to ask the Vice President something. Ang bilis kasi eh. Oh, there was